Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the New York City Council hearing on the Committee on Civil Service and Labor. At this time, please silence all electronics and do not approach the dais. I repeat, do not approach the dais. If you need to fill out a slip in person, you may do so at the back of the room with the sergeants. If you want to fill out an online testimony, if you could fill it out at testimony@council.nyc.gov. That is testimony@council.nyc.gov. Any further questions or concerns, you could please contact the sergeants. Thank you for your cooperation. Chair, you may begin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa, Chair of the Committee on Civil Service and Labor. Welcome to today's hearing, where we will be exploring the city's ongoing efforts to address challenges in recruitment and retention within our municipal workforce. We will also be hearing the following legislation. Intro 671, sponsored by myself, in relation to providing civil service examination fee waivers for high schoolers and first-time applicants. Reso 333, sponsored by Public Advocate Williams, in relation to eliminating the subminimum wage for employees based on their disability or age, and Reso 598, sponsored by myself, in relation to the city's healthcare institutions contracting with laundry companies that respect workers' rights. Our municipal workforce is the backbone of New York City. Every day, hardworking and dedicated employees provide essential services across all 5 boroughs, ensuring that our city operates smoothly. We owe these public servants our deep gratitude for their tireless commitment to keeping New York running. However, the city's public workforce has been contending with several intersecting personal challenges. We have observed elevated rates of attrition at many key agencies, particularly in public safety, including correction officers and uniformed police officers, as well as call dispatchers, school safety agents. Staffing shortages are also impacting EMS, EMT units, and public hospital emergency departments, leading to delays in emergency care. In addition to those challenges, the city faces increased competition from private sector employers who often offer attractive benefits and flexible work environments and recruit from the same pool of skilled, qualified candidates. When compounded, these issues threaten the city's ability to maintain a high level of service New Yorkers rely on every day. Today, we look forward to hearing from DCAS and OLR regarding their efforts to recruit and retain staff, as well as their role in collaborating with agencies to make sure that they are providing civil service examinations for positions experiencing high vacancy rates. We will seek their feedback on legislation before the committee, particularly for Intro 671. We hope to identify some key positions that are facing challenges to retention and to explore actionable strategies to improve access to the city's employment. Together, we must work to strengthen the pathways into public service and ensure that the city can continue to deliver for all New Yorkers. I'd like to thank our committee staff, Senior Policy Analyst Elizabeth Arts, and Legislative Counsel Ria Yasawara for their hard work in preparing for today's hearing. I'd also like to thank my staff, Chief of Staff James Burke, Deputy Chief of Staff and Legislative Director Kiana Diaz, and Communications Director Frey Familia. I would like to recognize that we've been joined by Councilmember Moya on Zoom. We will be hearing testimony, first from representatives of the administration. I now turn to the committee counsel to administer the oath for the panel of administrative officials, including Katrina Porter, Chief Human Capital Officer, Katie Notar, Assistant Commissioner for Workforce Operations, Robert Alexander, Assistant Commissioner for Examinations, and Daniel Pollack of OLR.
We'll now hear testimony from the administration. Before we begin, I will administer the affirmation. Panelists, please raise your right hand, and I will read the affirmation once, then call on each of you individually to respond. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this committee, and to respond honestly to council member questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Katrina Porter, and I'm the Chief Human Capital Officer for the City of New York and Deputy Commissioner for Human Capital at the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, also known as DCAS. I am joined here today by my colleagues, DCAS Assistant Commissioner Katie Notar, DCAS Assistant Commissioner for Examinations, Robert Alexander, and Daniel Pollack, First Deputy Commissioner with the Office of Labor Relations. To begin, I would like to give a brief overview of DCAS's recruitment and retention efforts on behalf of the City of New York. Recruitment and retention are essential to ensuring the city has the workforce necessary to meet its mission. These efforts are reflective of the administration's commitment to deliver vital city services for New Yorkers every day. Among the most important tools is in DCAS's toolkit is the administration of civil service examinations. These exams provide an even playing field to obtaining a career within New York City government and an eligible pool of candidates for agencies to draw from when job openings become available. Over 80% of city government positions require candidates to take and pass a civil service exam. We employ a multifaceted approach to outreach, engaging community-based organizations, leveraging social media, conducting targeted press campaigns, and utilizing advertising to inform New Yorkers about career opportunities in municipal government. As of today, we are proud to share that our DCAS Jobs newsletter has grown tremendously. To date, over 200,000 job-seeking subscribers receive the newsletter monthly. As part of the technological enhancements made to the revamped Jobs NYC online portal, which connects prospective candidates to all open city jobs, we have seen the number of employment applications hit new highs. The number of applications received through the Jobs NYC website increased by 87% in fiscal year 2024 compared to the prior fiscal year 23, to a record approximately 1.3 million applications. This reflects the success of our efforts to make city jobs more accessible and appealing to New Yorkers. All these efforts supplement our traditional outreach and collaboration, both internally and externally. The city, along with DCAS and other agencies, engages in interagency and external partnerships with institutions like the City University of New York City Public Schools, and nonprofit and community-based organizations, including those that serve justice-involved individuals, to market and promote city career opportunities. Further bolstering our recruitment efforts, DCAS operates several pathway programs, including fellowships, internships, and apprenticeships, which help recruit the next generation of talent directly into the municipal workforce. All told, our recruitment efforts are showing meaningful signs of progress in attracting job seekers to city work. While recruiting top talent to municipal government services is vital to the city's success, we also know that retaining those same talented New Yorkers is just as important. We want people not only to thrive in their careers, but also grow professionally so they can make a bigger positive impact on their fellow New Yorkers. To foster growth and long-term commitment, we offer robust professional development and promotional opportunities tailored to employees' career aspirations. As entry-level civil service exams provide a gateway to solid middle-class jobs with good benefits, promotion exams provide important pathways for upward mobility. To afford employees the tools and resources they need to grow, DCAS and the city offers professional development training, including through our New York City Management Academy, Leadership Institute, training expos, the DCAS course catalog, and access to our new comprehensive e-learning platform, NY City Learn. Also, we will soon be rolling out career counseling as a service to city employees in accordance with Local Law 75 of 2024. We look forward to seeing all these efforts continue to bear fruit in the coming months. When we look at the data, we see that the City of New York is competitive with the private sector when it comes to filling vacancies with talented New Yorkers. And our retention rate of 90% is similar to other large public sector employers like New York State, which is also at 90%, and the federal government at 94%. Data indicates that citywide agency vacancies are low overall, at approximately 5.7%, which is down from a high of 8.4% in November of 2021. We continue to see very high rates for both retention and tenure. Compared to the 3-year average time that an employer stays in the private sector, DCAS data shows that city employees serve more than 3 times as long, or about 10 years. In fact, 3/4 of the municipal workforce has served for 5 years or more. Thanks to the myriad of programs and policies in place to support city employees, the City of New York is one of the top employers of choice for New Yorkers. While the data demonstrates progress towards recruitment and retention, we know that there's always more work to do, and DCAS both appreciates and shares the Council's interest in further improving retention efforts. Before concluding, I would like to speak to Intro 671. DCAS supports the spirit of this legislation. However, I should note that through our work, we have found that eliminating civil service exam fees does not increase the number of exam takers or passing candidates. Despite introducing several avenues for applicants to have exam fees waived over the years, many of which remain in place, we have found that while more people may apply to take exams, the number of test takers that show up for the exam does not increase. We believe that this bill aligns with the state's new law that expands opportunities for high school seniors to take civil service exams within 12 months of meeting diploma and age requirements, which has already been operationalized at DCAS. I hope we have made it clear that the city and DCAS are constantly working to ensure agencies have access to the tools necessary to recruit and retain the staff they need to deliver on their individual missions and provide vital city services to the people of New York. We always recognize that there is more work to be done and challenges may be overcome. Although creative partnerships across government, including with public safety and human services agencies, we are looking to tackle recruitment challenges to ensure that our city continues to be an employer of choice for New Yorkers. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Good afternoon, Chair De La Rosa and members of the committee. My name is Daniel Pollack, and I'm the first Deputy Commissioner of the Office of Labor Relations. Today, I will briefly outline our efforts through collective bargaining to improve recruitment and retention in the city workforce. Coming out of the COVID pandemic and the nationwide recruitment and retention challenges, commonly called the Great Resignation, recruitment and retention was a focus of the administration in the current round of bargaining. First and foremost, the 5-year pattern in this round, which we refer to as the 2021 to 2026 round of bargaining, included the most significant wage increases in more than a decade, totaling 16.21% over the 5-year term. Since our first agreement with DC 37 in February of 2023, we have settled contracts with 138 bargaining units, covering over 98% of unionized city employees. Negotiations with the remaining units are ongoing. We also introduced a new initiative in this round to tackle areas with significant recruitment and retention challenges. For eligible units with demonstrable recruitment and retention issues, the union could allocate up to 0.5% of funding through a contract extension or similar means, with the city matching this funding by an additional 0.5%. This feature recognizes that recruitment and retention issues are a joint problem for management and labor, and that we can work together to address those issues through collaboration and negotiation. This equity funding has facilitated permanent lifeguard salary increases, a retention bonus program for 911 operators, accelerated top pay salary schedules for special officers and school safety agents, and a new salary structure for probation officers. These are just some of the provisions we have reached agreement on in this round to enhance recruitment and retention. Our agreement with DC 37, signed onto by numerous other unions as well, also included a flexible work pilot. Through that pilot and the ongoing work of a labor management committee established by the DC 37 agreement, we created a remote work pilot and have rolled out remote work at every eligible city agency. We've also established a compressed work week pilot, which is being implemented at many agencies. The flexible work pilot runs through May 31st, 2025, and as that deadline approaches, we will continue our ongoing discussions with DC 37 to evaluate the pilot and plan our next steps. Thank you for the opportunity to testify, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you all for being here and for your testimony. I want to recognize we've also been joined by Councilmember Feliz. Welcome. And I think we may have one more. Hold on. And Councilmember Caban on Zoom. So thank you all for coming and for continuing to have this conversation. It's been an ongoing dialogue, and I appreciate both the openness and your willingness to collaborate on the issue of retention and improving the workforce. I know we're mission aligned when it comes to city workers. I do have a few questions. One of the questions that I have for DCAS is about the 2-for-1 hiring policy. How has the 2-for-1 hiring policy impacted DCAS and other agencies in meeting the staffing needs, especially in departments with critical or immediate service demands?
So thank you for that question. DCAS is, no different than any other city agency. We actually use different strategies to address some of our recruitment challenges. Such as targeted hiring events. Most recently, we had a targeted event for our attorney population. But we try our best to navigate to ensure that there are no service delivery interruptions for our customers. Kaden, do you want to talk about anything with OTR?
I think to Katrina's point, it's really about getting out there and letting folks know about the opportunities that are available and being creative in that way, and then being creative in how we make sure that we're bringing those services to the community so they're aware.
Yeah, I think, we agree that there have been efforts to recruit and to bring in talent, but once the talent is brought in, one, we've seen delays in the hiring process, and two, this 2-for-1 hiring policy makes it difficult for the person to actually be offered the job. So are you saying that there's no impact at this moment with the 2-for-1 hiring?
So not saying that there's no impact. We struggle with the same challenges as other agencies, but we do try to come up with creative ways to address, our staffing constraints.
So how would you get around that?
So one thing that I would mention is the HR Transformation Project, where it was a interagency program where we worked with city agencies to streamline the hire time. We looked at our onboarding documentation and worked with these agencies to streamline so that we could onboard candidates more quickly. Created a new employee webpage where all new hire and policies and procedures that pertain to city employees are in one place, so that employees have an opportunity to just bring transparency to the new hire process.
And in terms of the 2-for-hire rule, how are exemptions decided? Because I was told in the past that there are exemptions for certain agencies that have urgent vacancies or some of the public safety considerations. How are those exemptions decided? Are you aware?
Unfortunately, I do not have direct insight into that. We worked with our internal HR department, to address in human capital, to address any staffing vacancies that we have to fill. We work directly with our HR department.
So if there's an agency that comes to you all and says, there's an urgent need here, are you having the conversation with OMB about needing, permission or needing clearance for that line to hire or an exemption?
No, we do not provide that sort of guidance to agencies. One thing that we lately, what we've been advising agencies is to maybe consider our Civil Service Pathway Fellowship Program. This is a program that's managed by DCAS, and it is exempt from the 2-for-1. So we will help agencies provide agencies with guidance and strategies on how to navigate that criteria.
So are you finding that agencies are having those conversations directly with OMB, not via DCAS?
Those conversations do not happen via DCAS. We do not have insight into agency hiring practices
Okay.
outside of our internal DCAS HR department.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So a question for OLR. Is OLR reviewing pay scales and benefit packages to ensure competitiveness with the private sector, especially for high demand roles?
Thank you for that question, Chair De La Rosa. So, I mentioned the equity funding construct that we had in this round. So certainly when we were looking at places that we should be targeting for to address recruitment and retention issues, we would, look at any info that we had about, issues with recruitment and retention. That often includes competitiveness with the private sector. So where there was a title that, the agency was telling us was losing too many people to the private sector, unable to recruit, that is something we would look at. Benefit packages, we're talking about health benefits, that's negotiated on a citywide basis. It's not something we would kind of alter title by title.
So how does the equity fund come into play? So if there is a position that is losing workers, you all would sort of tap into the equity fund to try and bring the wages to a more competitive level?
Yes, and well, it would be through negotiation. So, it's always through the conversation with the union. But, when we'd be bargaining a contract with the union, we would, be aware of what titles within that union, if any, had we heard about issues. We would also see if the union had any titles where they felt there were issues. And then, if we felt the data supported that there was a recruitment and retention problem and both sides wanted to use this construct to address it, we would then try to figure out what we could do to enhance their wages, or we've also worked out retention bonus programs and other things.
It would routinely still follow the pattern.
Yes, it would be fit within the pattern. That construct I described of, 0.5% from the city, 0.5% from the union. The union would have to fund the 0.5% within the pattern, and the city then would match a 0.5% that's, essentially it's not outside the pattern, but it's, in addition to the pattern wage increases, there's this additional 0.5% match.
Got it. For roles that have seen the highest turnover rates, such as police officers, correction officers, school safety agents, what specific retention incentives are being considered?
So I can speak to the what we have negotiated for all those titles in this round. So, for police officers, we were able to negotiate an increase to the starting salary, which, I think both sides felt had to be addressed beyond just the pattern wage increases. We also obviously, with the pattern wage increases, the top pay for police officers was brought significantly higher. For school safety agents, it used to take you 7 years to get to top pay. And looking at that, we in the union both felt that, that new employees come in, it's, they see that top pay is 7 years away, and that's a little too long to wait. So we were able to figure out a way within the pattern and using that equity funding to take off 2 pay steps. So now it's 5 years to get to top pay, which is a little more kind of insight for a new employee. For correction officers, we negotiated a retention bonus program that actually will take place in 2027, where correction officers, kind of as an incentive for more senior correction officers to stay on for another couple of years in light of all the challenges they're facing. There will be a series of bonus payments for employees with, I believe, 10 or more years of service in 2027.
Does DCAS play a role at all in collaborating with agencies to determine incentives?
We do not.
Okay, thank you. Has OLR explored enhancement to employee benefits such as childcare, support, mental health resources, tuition assistance to improve job satisfaction or retention?
So when we talked about improvements to health benefits, we're constantly talking about health benefits with our unions. Obviously we are dealing with an environment of sharply rising costs, which we are trying to control, but within that kind of constraint, we do try to offer the most competitive health benefits we can. Something that we recently announced for managerial employees, because that's something that we're able to do, was a new benefit for egg donation, egg or sperm donation, and surrogate costs, which is something we're proud of and, is getting off the ground now. So those are some of the things we are doing. in terms of mental health, I do want to take this opportunity to just our EAP program as well as our WorkWell program are both, really valuable programs for city employees. WorkWell provides wellness programming, including fitness, and other wellness programming to city agencies. Since it was created about 10 years ago, it's grown hugely, and really, we get universally positive feedback from every agency that participates, from every employee that participates. EAP is committed to dealing with employee mental health issues. Last year, they saw nearly 30,000 clients, which was a record for them. So we continue to expand that program. We have some places we have targeted EAP programs. For example, ACS Child Protection. We have a program there where there are counselors placed in each borough because we know that's a job that has a large kind of toll on employees' mental health. So both those programs are also really designed to help support employees because, we know obviously there are a lot of tough jobs in the city and it's not all about compensation. Those jobs can take a toll.
Thank you. While most salary ranges are established through collective bargaining agreements, what criteria do agencies use to decide where a new employee falls within that range?
So for an employee, under most collective bargaining agreements have a mandated salary for new hires, where new hires are paid a certain rate, and then after 2 years of city service, the employee is subject to the minimum to maximum range. In those cases where there's a range, any changes within that range would be subject to discussion between the agency and OMB.
Okay. The city announced an expanded remote work pilot in 2023 and for 16,500 employees. How is the pilot progressing, and does the city have plans to expand this pilot any further?
Thank you, Councilmember, for that question. Obviously, we are in 2025 now. It's been nearly 2 years since we launched that program. It's been implemented at, I believe, around 40 agencies. It expires May 31st, and it is subject to a 1-year extension by mutual agreement. We've been meeting with DC 37 practically weekly since the program launched to work out issues, to kind of discuss how it's going. And I think, as we've now entered the new year with the expiration approaching, those conversations will turn to what the next steps are. So there's an option kind of baked into the agreement for a 1-year extension. And then obviously if either side wants to raise any potential changes, we would do that.
When is the expiration?
May 31st.
May 31st. And so far, do you know if that 16,500 number has sort of stayed steady?
So the number that I knew of initially, I believe, was over 20,000, but we don't keep a constant tracker. So we knew we had the initial numbers because the city committee approved all the rosters, but since then there may have been changes. Some people may have been added, some people may have been removed. That's all at agency discretion. So we don't know how many there are right now for sure.
All right. So after May, we may have a clearer picture.
Yes.
Okay. In March 2025, DCAS's first report summarizing the responses received in exit surveys and interviews of resigning and retiring employee is due to the council. So it's due in March 2025. Have you started compiling any information? And if so, could you share what trends have emerged from those surveys to identify the primary reasons for employee attrition?
Thank you for that question. The team is still compiling the data for that survey. We have received the initial raw data from the agencies, and right now we're in the process of compiling that information, and we'll be ready to publish for the March 30th date.
Okay, thank you. We're looking forward to seeing some of the responses. Nationwide, there is a significant pattern of retiring employees departing their positions in local and state government. Retirement-eligible individuals are less likely to postpone retirement, and those under the retirement age are increasingly likely to accelerate their retirement. Have those trends been observed in New York City municipal workforce in recent years?
So our data shows that, as I stated in the testimony, that we are retaining our employees at about 90% of our employees have more than 10 years of service. However, our most recent workforce profile report was released on Friday,
Okay.
and just know what it says. We're showing that about the retirement eligibility percentage is going down. We're showing about 14% of the city's workforce is retirement eligible between fiscal years 24 and 28.
Okay.
And that's down from 23. Thank
Do you
you.
have the 23 numbers on you by any chance?
The 23 number is 14%.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Commissioner Pollack, could you go into some detail about the bonus pay incentives for 911 dispatchers?
Sure. So we negotiated with DC 37 using equity funding a bonus of $10,000 per year, which is broken down to $5,000 for each 6-month period for 911 operators.
Say it again, 5,000?
$5,000 for each 6-month period.
Okay.
So initially it was January through June, then July through December. We've recently negotiated some modifications to the program. We also set there's an attendance threshold to be eligible for the bonus. So 911 has been dealing with kind of large absence problems, and one of the things that we really wanted to focus on, both the union and the city, was essentially to give an incentive for those who are coming to work a lot and are not excessively absent. So we set a threshold for attendance where you have to meet that threshold to be eligible for the bonus. And so we have now moved into, the first year has passed. We made some modifications based on feedback and concerns, and now there's kind of some slight adjustments for the next year.
In terms of the requirements for attendance, one of the things that was very jarring for the committee was last time when DC 37 actually testified before the committee, and they testified that 911 calls were going to voicemail. That is an urgent problem, and that 911 dispatchers were working overtime to the tune of 16 plus hours. That is something that obviously raised a lot of flags with the committee members. And I was wondering if you had the number, if you had the numbers on what is the vacancy rate for 911 dispatchers, and two, is this bonus that is in correlation with absence, taking into account how much overtime these workers are expected to work. So, for example, if they're working an overtime shift and they decide they got to leave early for whatever reason, is that being counted against them for the bonuses?
Thank you for those questions. So I'm not aware of the vacancy rate. NYPD would certainly be aware of that. I will say that, we have been really focused on this at OLR. We have been working on 911 operators for many years now. One thing that we've had going for a number of years is a compressed work week pilot for them that started, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, predating the larger compressed work agreement. We've made a number of modifications through the years. We've increased the number of people who are on the compressed schedule. We just extended that again for another 6-month period. So like I said, we've been very involved with that unit. We know that there are challenges there. We know it's a really tough job. We know there's excessive overtime, high absence rates, and it is something that we are looking to improve. In terms of the attendance threshold, it doesn't really count overtime.
Okay.
So it doesn't, count overtime for or against you. If you, don't work an overtime shift or only work part of a shift because you have to, go home sick or something, that doesn't count against you. It really only counts your regular shift. And the other thing I'll say is we did bring down for the prior year, we brought down the thresholds we initially had just to, recognizing it was a tough year
Challenges, yeah.
and that, so some more people should be eligible for the bonus than initially were.
Thank you. I have a few more questions. I just want to recognize that Councilmember Dinowitz has joined us on Zoom as well. In terms of the 911 dispatchers, last question on this, I hope. But Are they being provided some of that stress and wellness packaging that you spoke about with some of your other bargaining? Because it seems to me like this is a workforce that is highly stressed due to the nature of their job.
Well, it's there's nothing specific for them, but it's something we'll certainly explore. With both our director of EAP as well as Workwell. I will say the person who runs the Workwell program has also been kind of one of the point people involved in the compressed work week pilot. So
Okay.
we definitely know that there's a need there. I think one of the challenges is when for a job where there's a lot of overtime, sometimes there's not even necessarily time for those other things. So
Yeah.
we do need to reach out to them and really make an effort to get them to use those resources.
Okay, thank you. DCAS, do you all ever partner with individual agencies to develop role-specific retention incentives, particularly for those roles identified as hard to recruit?
So yes, we're in constant communication with city agencies to help them develop strategies to attract top talent. One of those ways, of course, is through the administration of examinations. 80% of the positions in city government require a civil service examination. We release our annual examination schedule on July 1st annually. However, the planning for that schedule starts in January. So just a few weeks ago, we released our tentative examination schedule, which includes titles that DCAS anticipates being included on the schedule this year. And then we send that schedule along with a survey, a workforce recruitment survey, to city agencies to provide them with an opportunity to review the titles that we're anticipating, and then to also share their thoughts and ideas on titles that should be included based on their hiring needs. And it's, we go back and forth with the agencies. We also meet with agencies at their request to discuss any, special needs around the timing of the exam or, any specialized skill sets that may be needed ahead of the exam schedule.
And how often do you update if the title's hard to recruit? How often do you review that designation?
Hard to recruit is usually at the agency would provide that information to us, and then we would review it at that time.
Okay.
Our Office of Citywide Recruitment also works very closely with agencies, conducting agency spotlights to our community-based organizations and educational institutions to highlight positions that may be hard to recruit. Do you want to add anything? Okay.
All right. Thank you for that. My colleagues and I have been concerned about increasing wait times for ambulances and emergency response teams to arrive on the scene of patients in crisis. At the November hearing held last year by the Committee on Fire and Emergency Management, Hospitals, and Oversight and Investigation, the administration emphasized that emergency responses require incredible collaboration between 911 dispatchers, FDNY, EMS, EMT, and hospital staff. Does DCAS play any role in the recruitment or examination of 911 call dispatchers, EMS, EMT, or hospital staff? And that's one part of the question. And then while we recognize that there is a complicated structure with all of these separate entities, it would be helpful to understand what role, if any, DCAS plays with any of these different groups.
So DCAS's role is to support these agencies by administering examinations. Much of the titles that you mentioned, with the exception of the hospital emergency room title, are competitive titles in which DCAS administers examinations. And once again, we request feedback from agencies on how often they want to have these titles. Many public safety titles we give multiple times a year to support future recruitment efforts. Anything else?
Okay, so let's go a little bit into the exam administration. Could you please explain DCAS' role in collaborating with agencies to determine which civil service exams will be scheduled and what metrics factor into the joint decision to administer this exam?
So once again, our process starts in January, in which we...
Sorry, Commissioner. We got to stop the hearing for 1 second. Give us a second. I think it's the translation. Yeah. Just give us 1 second. I
course.
apologize. Welcome to Monday at the City Council. Okay. Sorry, Commissioner. So again, could you explain DCAS's role in collaborating with agencies to determine what civil service exams will be scheduled? What metrics factor into the joint decision to administer these exams?
During the planning process for the exam schedule in January, we use data, right? So we look at titles that may have a high number of provisionals, titles with eligible lists that may be scheduled to expire within the next year or two. And we come up with that tentative schedule. It's really based on data. And then, prior knowledge about titles that we give every year. So like public safety titles, police officer, correction officer, probation officer, we give those exams every year. So they would automatically be included on the tentative schedule. When we share that tentative schedule with our agency partners, we also send them what we call the workforce planning questionnaire. And their feedback in that questionnaire helps us, it's pretty much essential to shaping the schedule to help them meet their current and future hiring needs. So it's a collaboration of data and the workforce planning questionnaire and feedback that we get from the agencies. That's what determines what titles we offer.
Great. In past hearing, you've spoken about the new practice of administering the bridge exams, which allow applicants to take one exam and apply for multiple positions. As you discussed your upcoming year's examination schedule with agencies, do you intend to continue administering bridge exams? Has the feedback on these exams been positive enough that you would consider increasing the number of bridge exams administered every year?
Yes, so we've administered bridge exams every year since calendar year 2019, and we have seen that there is interest in this particular exam model. It's one exam, one application fee. It's a flat $40 rate for up to 10 examinations. And so we've seen great success with this model, and we do intend to continue to administer bridge exams in the future.
Good. Okay, according to the 2024 Mayor's Management Report, it took approximately 139 business days, around 6 months, for DCAS to release exam results to applicants. As we approach the release of the 2025 MMR, has DCAS made any progress in reducing the time required to process of releasing the exam scores? And has there been any progress in reducing the time between the release of an eligible list and the median time for an applicant to be hired?
So I do want to mention that our goal for exam administration is 290 days. So we're well under our target for exam establishments. We have seen some success in streamlining and fast-tracking exam establishment for what we call single-part exams. This is an exam that just has one exam component, be it multiple choice or education and experience. We've been able to get that timeline down to about 3 to 4 months. And we're always looking for opportunities to streamline the exam development process so that we can get those exams out more quickly. It is important to mention that there are legally mandated activities that need to happen, such as the protest review session, that take time. But if an agency has an immediate hiring need, we can work with them to get them candidates before the list is established.
Great. I mean, I think one of the things that always is surprising for the council, and when we hear about the 6-month period, is like, what kind of person can wait 6 months, to actually start working, and the economic hardships, right? You're already coming. If you weren't employed, if you were unemployed, or you're coming from a place where you haven't had income, and then you gotta wait kind of 6 months, it would seem to me that we lose some talent that can accept a job immediately in another sector. So, that's always something that's in the back of our heads as we think about the process.
So something that I will mention is, like, if there is if an agency has an immediate hiring need, they have vacancies and they don't have candidates, and we just administered an exam, we can provide them with data so that they can start to engage with those candidates right away, so that they don't lose the top talent.
Okay.
The exam schedule, though, it's a preemptive measure, right? So these exams are for, really for future needs. But we are flexible in that way where we provide agencies with data all the time to help them fill their vacancies.
Great. What formula? What is the formula for the application fee? One of the things you testified to, I have the bill that kind of waives the fee, and I understand like the need to have you pay, even though I would argue that, I pay for the gym and I don't go. So it's not always an incentive, like you pay and you go, But I understand that we want people to be responsible, and if they do put their resources towards something, they're going to show up because they're bought in. Right? But what is the formula for the fee? Where does the money generated by the application fee go towards? One of the things that we know is that, again, for an individual that may not be employed, this could be a barrier. So I just want to learn a little bit more about how the fees are determined. Like I think I saw there was some tests that are like $68. There's other tests that are $40. There's different fees. So how do you determine what's the fee per application?
So thank you for that. I'll turn that over to Rob Alexander.
Thank you for that question. Thank you, Council. The fee is part of our rules. The fee is determined by the minimum lowest salary, starting salary for that position. So there's a chart that I believe begins at $40,000 up to over $100,000, with 40 being the least and 101 being the highest salary. I think it was last updated sometime in 2010.
Okay. And you all are, by your testimony, are finding that when people pay, they generally show up.
When they pay a small fee, they come in much better percentages when they do if they don't pay at all.
Okay. Would you be open to reconsidering some of the application fees or lowering them in the future for either all exams or just for the titles that are experiencing high vacancy rates at this time?
So we're always open to, new ideas and suggestions to help the city attract top talent. We do believe that the bridge exam is one of those, exam types that allow a candidate to pay a fee, but to, get more bang for their buck by being eligible for up to 10 exams.
What's the fee for the bridge again?
It's $40. It's a $40 flat rate.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we recently expanded this model for what we're calling the public safety exam, which was recently open for filing at the end of last year. So, just taking that model and continue to expand upon it so that candidates, have more opportunities to be appointed from lists.
Thank you. I want to recognize that our colleague Eric Batcher is here. Thank you. I'd like to ask some questions regarding some positions that are currently experiencing high vacancy rates. We talked a little bit about school safety agents. In September 2023, DCAS published a notice of examination for school safety agents exam with a $0 application fee. With multiple choice testing set to begin October 17th. By July 2024, the hiring list for those examinations was made public on the city government website. Can you provide an update on whether the Department of Education has hired any of the individuals from the eligible list? And if so, how many? And what factors have delayed the hiring process?
So unfortunately, we do not have insight into agencies, hiring practices or how many folks are being hired off of these civil service lists. We would have to reach out to them for that information.
Okay. Is that something that if you request, they would share?
Sure.
Okay. If you could help us get some of that information, that would be great.
You said school safety agent?
Yeah, school safety agents. Let's see. And then a similar exam for school safety agents opened for application in May 2024 with multiple choice testing to begin on August 15, 2024, and again in October 2025. Unlike the 2023 exam, which had no application fee, these exams required a $54 application fee. Can you explain why the application fee was reinstated for the subsequent test?
So that's a great example of, DCAS being flexible and working with the agencies to, try to increase their candidate pool. And so we did eliminate the application fee for the exam you mentioned.
Yeah.
And so while we received more applications, we saw about a 50% drop off at the, for candidates coming in to sit for the exam.
The test.
And that is a resource constraint for our computerized testing centers because we have to allocate a certain number of seats to be available. While we could have been administering other exams. So we did not find that to be a successful strategy to increase the number of test takers or passers for school safety agent.
I think I asked earlier, but I don't know if I heard the response. Where the fees that are generated, where does that money go? Like, does it go into reinvestment for other exams, space? Like,
They,
what does
they
that-
go into the city's general fund.
Okay.
They do not come to DCAS directly.
Okay. Were you able to find? We were unable to find a hiring list for the examinees who took the exam in August 2024 or October 2024. Have those exams been published yet? If not, when do you expect the examinees can receive the results?
And it's a school safety agent?
Yes.
Do you have it?
Those two that tested in August and October, they're probably out by the end of February.
End of February, okay. Okay, and for public safety positions, asking a few questions on those. In addition to school safety exam, we observed that several other examinations for public safety positions were announced last fall, including exams for probation officers, police officers, correction officers, and the level 1 public safety exam. Why was the probation officer exam postponed, exam number 5129?
So yes, that exam was postponed because we're working with the Department of Probation on a qualification requirement update. And so we wanted to ensure that the update was completed before the exam opened for filing. I believe that that update is almost complete, so we will be engaging Department of Probation to get the exam back on the schedule.
Okay, this seems significant because because as of December, Department of Probation has an 18.5 vacancy rate with 200 positions open. So do we think that once that qualification review is done, we'll be able to fill some of those positions?
Well, actually, there's an active list for probation officer with available candidates. So probation, can reach out to DCAS for certification, and we'll send them those names.
Okay. The multiple choice testing for the police officer exam began on October 23, 2024. Has the eligible list for that exam been released yet? And if not, when does DCAS anticipate that it will be available?
That exam was finalized and established on January 22nd, I believe.
Okay.
So it was last week.
The notice of examination for the correction officer position imposed a $68 application fee. However, the position's current minimum salary starts at $53,000 a year. I believe that in past hearings you testified that the application fee is based on the position's salary. Mm-hmm. Does this high application fee seem to be commensurate with the salary of a correction officer?
So I would need to refer back to our, criteria grid just to confirm, how that salary aligns with the examination fee.
Yeah,
But
'cause it
it's
seems a little high.
It's usually, as Commissioner Alexander mentioned, it's usually tied to the lowest starting salary for the title.
Yeah.
But we can look into
It
it.
seems a little high because if the starting salary is $53,000 and that fee is almost $70, just seems a little high. Does the level 1 public safety exam act as a bridge exam for public safety roles across several titles?
Public safety bridge is similar to the bridge exam. However, there will only be one resulting list from the examination. So it's one exam, one application fee, multiple titles, but one list.
Okay.
And it's really the idea behind the public safety bridge exam is to help supplement exams that are already being administered for the standalone titles.
Okay. And are you finding in your experience that agencies are able to easily access and pull people off the list?
So this is a pilot
Okay.
program. We just had the multiple choice test earlier this month, so the list has not been established yet.
Okay.
But we're hopeful to be able to use this, for future iterations of this
Okay.
model.
So more to talk about once
Yes.
we figure out how it works. Okay. So moving into service delivery, how are staffing reductions impacting service delivery across critical areas, and what measures are being implemented to mitigate these effects?
And so, once again, Chair, we don't have insight into agency hiring practices, but I can tell you at DCAS, we are using, strategies like targeted recruitment events and leveraging Civil Service Pathway Fellowship to ensure that we have, enough resources so that we're not affecting service delivery.
Okay, are there any job titles, particularly those related to social services or public safety or healthcare, that have been experiencing high rates of attrition?
Don't have that information handy today.
Okay, if you could get back to the committee, that would be great. Let me see. What key performance indicators does DCAS use to evaluate the success of its hiring and retention initiatives?
So through the MMR, we have quite a few indicators there, but one that we use, absolutely is the time between exam administration and exam establishment, because we do recognize that, that the time that it takes for us to complete those examinations, may affect, our agency's ability in some cases.
Okay. Hold on. I'd like to recognize that we've been joined by Councilmember Julie Menin, and also Public Advocate Williams is here. Is there a timeline or a benchmark in place for reducing vacancy rates in the hardest hit agencies? Do you have an internal timeline?
We do not.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
Because those strategies happen at the agency level, so they'll reach out to us for support, but we really don't have a line of sight into their hiring practices, individual agency hiring practices.
Okay. I'm going to pause my questions for a minute because I know that Public Advocate Williams wants to testify on his bill. Welcome, Public Advocate.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Really appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. As was mentioned, my name is Jemani Williams. I'm Public Advocate of the City of New York. Thank you to Chair De La Rosa and members of the Committee on Civil Service and Labor for holding this hearing and for allowing me to share my statement, which we call it an opening statement, but it's kind of in the middle now. Today I'm speaking on support of Resolution 0333-24, which reintroduced this legislative session. The resolution calls on the New York State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign State Senate Bill S-28 by Senator Skoufis and his companion State Assembly Bill A-1006, Assemblymember Steck. It would eliminate the sub-minimum wage for employees based on their disability or age. The bill goes, as far back as 2017 and has been reintroduced every session since it is a matter of equity that the state of New York needs to address. It is time the state legislature gets it to the finish line, and I urge my colleagues to support the resolution for its passage. Presently, there are provisions outlined by the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, that provides for the employment of individuals with disabilities at wage rates below the statutory minimum, otherwise known as minimum wage. The intent of such a provision is to prevent employers from deciding against the hiring of individuals based on characteristics such as having a disability. Employers could receive a sub-minimum wage certificate from the Wage and Hour Division of the Department of Labor. Despite an effort to encourage the hiring of individuals with disability, the real-life application of the provision still leads to major pay discrepancies and unfair treatment in the workplace. According to the United States Government Accountability Office, since 2019, more than half of workers employed by organizations possessing a sub-minimum wage certificate earn less than $3.50 an hour. In a report from NBC News, Goodwill Industries paid some workers with disabilities as little as 22 cents an hour, a brazen abuse of a legal loophole in the FLSA and a showcase of how the company undervalues its workers. Senate Bill S-28, Assembly Bill A-1006 would eliminate these provisions, allowing New York to finally join the 18 other states that have passed legislation that has or will end subminimum wage work for people with disabilities. The legislation would also impact both New York City and state as both have a significant population of residents living with disabilities. Approximately 11% of the city's total population live with some type of disability, and approximately 26% of student adults in the state live with disabilities. Researchers estimate that there are around 1,400 workers paid a sub-minimum wage, with a large portion of them classified as individuals with disabilities. The FLSA is more than 85 years old, and with it comes provisions that may be arguably antiquated. Enacted during the middle of World War II, the FLSA went into effect when the country experienced financial constraints and a shortage of then-current workforce because of the draft for military service. While the intent of the sub-minimum wage was to ensure job opportunities for people with disabilities, it does not entirely account for the loopholes employers will go through to pay employees as little as possible for their work. Everyone deserves to seek and obtain dignified employment and be compensated fairly. It's time New York steps up and rid itself of this nearly century-old ableist provision, and ask my colleagues to support the resolution to push our state legislatures to do so. Thank you, Chair, for hearing this piece of legislation as well. Thank you.
Thank you for putting forward an important legislation. We certainly support. Thank you. You don't have questions. Okay. Okay. So I have a bunch of questions. Bear with us. And this line of questioning has to do with reports that have been recently sent to the council by DCAS in the last few months. And so we want to dig in a little bit to some of the information in those reports. The first one is the Civil Service Ambassador Program, Local Law 2023, Local Law 2 of 2023. At the end of 2024, we received the report on the Civil Service Ambassador Program. This report requires DCAS's Office of Citywide Recruitment to report on various education and outreach efforts that the department has engaged in at the civil service pathways across the city during the prior fiscal year. We're very appreciative of your work, of the work you did to promote public service work at these events, and just wanted to touch base on some of the most interesting points that we saw in the report on FY24. We noted that a key area of growth was the type of forums at which you conducted outreach events, particularly the inclusion of shelters and trade schools. However, while there were increases in events held at the adult workforce and career training programs, we noticed a significant reduction in the events held at youth workforce and career training programs, going from 20 events in 2023 to only 3 events in 2024. Could you explain why the amount of outreach done at those events was significantly impacted?
Thank you for that question, and I'm glad that you had an opportunity to review the report. When we think about the outreach that we need to do for Local Law 2 and all of the other local laws, we try to be very targeted in our outreach and look at where there were gaps and try to shore up on them. Kind of, if I can explain the process of us engaging communities, the team does a lot of research to identify organizations, schools, drop-in centers, and folks that we can connect with. Then they start the process by reaching out and sending, initial emails. Here, we're DCAS, this is what we do, would love to communicate with you. Sometimes we get responses that are right away, yay, I'm interested. Other times it may take several follow-ups. And so we try to make sure that we're always reaching out and engaging. And so while there may be a dip in the youth workforce, that may be an increase because now we're identifying and working with schools. And now we are increasing the outreach that we're doing in other areas. Sometimes it's also dependent on when folks reach out to us. So we always try to make sure that we're hitting all of the different populations, but it's a challenge sometimes in terms of, sticking to one particular population.
Okay, got it. In the table where the civil service pathway engagement events are laid out, we note that some events are labeled as other, signifying events held in partnership with other city agencies and community boards. Could you please elaborate on the types of events you conducted with city agencies or community boards? Were they hiring halls or educational outreach events?
So it could be listed as both. We don't necessarily include hiring halls or career fairs where we're not conducting civil service one-on-one sessions in this report. Because of the requirements of the report. But for example, it could be the Department of Youth and Community Development for their summer youth employment program. We will do information sessions for them. We would do city talk panels for them. We do different information sessions. For the community boards, we may go out and do an information session for them. So that's why we include them under the other category.
Okay. The report specifies that the outreach events that were held across the 5 boroughs were not necessarily consistent. For example, Manhattan and Brooklyn had 14 events each, while Staten Island only had 3. The report describes the discrepancy as being due to challenges in the first half of the fiscal year. But could you please elaborate on what those challenges were? While we recognize that there are definitely preferences for virtual presentations or limitations based on partner organizations, I feel that it is unlikely that our neighbors in Staten Island have such an overwhelming preference for virtual events or other events that don't fall under the purview of the ambassador program when compared to residents in the other 4 boroughs to merit like the steep discrepancy described.
Yes, thank you. And so it also goes to the outreach and the responsiveness of those outreach. So we have different staff members that are responsible for reaching out to different boroughs, and they all are very intentional in reaching out to whether it's schools, whether it's organizations. Sometimes it's the responsiveness of those organizations. We found that, in the previous year report, we had a low representation in the Bronx or Staten Island, so we increased our outreach there, and as a result, you will see it's always going to be a shift because we have to figure out where do we need to go. So you may see an increase in Manhattan or increase in the Bronx, but a decrease in Manhattan because we're trying to figure out the best place for us to be. But what the team has been doing is figuring out more creative ways to reach out to different communities. So we always have to, is it schools? CUNY schools, they were an issue. So now we ramped up that effort. Where are the CUNY schools? In Staten Island, there may be only one. You may see additional ones in Queens or in the Bronx. So the team is very intentional in their outreach. Staten Island, we are on it. We are actually the team right now. I have a couple of events that they're planning, including one. I wrote the council member's name here, but I can't find it now. But we're doing one in March with the Staten Island council member in Staten Island at the Staten Island Borough Hall.
Great.
So we are actively reaching out to those groups.
And if the committee could ever be helpful, we got to rep for our Staten Island colleagues because then they want to recede and that's a problem. So we want them to stay. So the Public Service Corps program, Local Law 4 of 2023. At our previous Civil Service and Labor hearing, that we held jointly with Councilmember Dinowitz and the Committee on Higher Education in late October, we were awaiting DCAS's report on the Public Service Corps. We received the report in mid-December and would appreciate if you could answer some questions reflecting on its content. The report states that you had 116 PSC interns who were placed in FY 2024, and that it successfully recruited students from diverse backgrounds and from a variety of academic institutions. Of the 116 interns who were placed, 40 were placed in DCAS and 54 were placed in HRA, while most of the other participating departments only placed 1 to 5 interns. Is there a reason why such an overwhelming majority of students were placed at DCAS and HRA? Was it based on need for interns, or are you better situated to offer experiential learning opportunities? What was the reason for the kind of differences in agency participation?
Thank you. For the DCAS part, we have to champion the work that we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But we are really doing outreach to all of the agencies to engage them in participating in the program. And so they are encouraged to share job descriptions to us. They're encouraged to utilize the program to, alleviate some of their staff and needs that they have. We also look at, with the schools that we're engaging, the location of them. So sometimes depending on where the school is located and where the agency is located. Within DCAS, there may be opportunities that are centralized in Manhattan, and you'll have a lot of schools that are central in Manhattan. Within the Department of Social Services, they may have opportunities that are across different boroughs, and so that allows us to engage schools and students that are within different boroughs, because these students go to school and they come in 20 hours, so it would be hard for them to track from Queens to come to a position in Manhattan. So we try to factor all of that, but know that we have to make intentional outreach to both the schools and the agencies so we can bridge that gap.
And you're encouraging agencies to participate, I'm assuming. Right?
Absolutely, yes.
We saw in the report that you had launched the Public Service Corps Intern Hire Expo in the summer and fall of 2024 and successfully filled 28 internship roles. Do you foresee an expansion of this program in the future? And of the students who completed their internships, do they have a pipeline for entering civil service in the future after they obtain degrees for undergraduate or graduate school?
Yeah, so we are definitely going to be hosting that event yearly. We are planning one for this coming spring because we saw the benefit for both the students as well as the agencies. And the pathways for students is making sure that they understand the process. They're coming in as an intern. If you're working for DCAS, we currently hire PSC interns as well within our team. Then they know about the opportunities that are available. They're getting information on the civil service process, the examination process. These are students that can also go into the Civil Service Pathways Fellowships and other opportunities. So while they are onboarded to the city, they're being provided with information on how they can kind of navigate the system.
Great. Thank you for answering that. I'm going to pass it to Councilmember Bottcher, who has a few questions, and then I'll wrap with just some questions on my bill. Okay.
Hi. According to the Office of the New York City Comptroller, the NYPD has a vacancy rate of 4.6%. The NYPD is currently operating at a staffing level that's below what's been allocated in its budget by the City Council. To what factors do you attribute the 4.6% vacancy rate?
So DCAS works very closely with the NYPD to discuss, any potential staffing issues or concerns, and we usually support them through the administration of civil service exams. Many of the public safety titles that the NYPD uses are offered multiple times a year. So, for instance, police officer, we offer it 3 times a year. School safety agent, traffic enforcement agent, 2 to 3 times a year. And so we support them in that way. Speaking directly to the percentage of the vacancy rate, we're not at liberty to do that today.
Based on your experience, is a 4.6% vacancy rate for the NYPD low, average, or high?
So I can't speak to that today, sir. We can definitely look into it and get back to you with a more definitive answer.
Thank you, council member. All right, so on my intro, 671, how does DCAS anticipate that a fee waiver could improve access to civil service opportunities for underrepresented groups and economically disadvantaged communities?
So we do and recognize the importance of fee waivers. We offer fee waivers for many different populations, such as folks who receive Medicaid, public assistance. If you're unemployed, you can receive a fee waiver. So as I mentioned in my testimony, we do agree with the intent of the bill. We're just concerned that, based on our experience with reducing fee waivers, that folks will apply, but that they won't actually show up to take the examination.
Okay. Does DCAS have data or research showing how examination fees have previously acted as a barrier for potential applicants?
What I can tell you is that approximately 20% of candidates who apply for our exams receive a fee waiver. They request and we approve a fee waiver.
Okay, 20%. All right, we'll keep chatting about how to make it work. Thank you so much for your testimony, and thank you for being here today.
So after you read all of this, we're just going to turn to law enforcement.
All right. All right. I now open the floor to public testimony. Before we begin, I want to remind members of the public that this is a formal government proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recording to the Sergeant at Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the Sergeant at Arms and wait for your name to be called. Once you have been recognized, you will have 3 minutes to speak on today's hearing topic regarding methods to improve retention in the city workforce. If you have a written statement or additional written testimony you wish to submit for the record, please provide a copy of the testimony to the Sergeant at Arms. You may also email written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of the hearing. Audio and video recordings will not be accepted. We will start our public testimony with Mr. Oren Brzali on Zoom. Please wait for the sergeants to indicate that you may begin.
You may begin.
Hello, council members. Thank you for inviting me and asking me to speak today. I do not have a written testimony. However, I do want to speak about the improper hiring process that is ongoing in our city. I truly believe that OLR and OMB has blood on their hand. They are constantly violating federal laws by discriminatory pay practices. As you know, we in EMS are extremely underpaid. $39,000 a year for EMTs and paramedics is the starting salary. They are constantly violating the law. They're offering what's called pattern bargaining. OLR should be disbanded, or the people that are in there should be replaced. They offer every city employee 16% increases, regardless of how much you make. So somebody who's making $100,000 and getting 16% is getting a significant increase. Some people like me and my folks who are earning $39,000 a year are also getting 16%. So the gap keeps growing year after year. Hence why EMS is constantly understaffed, constantly a revolving door. Nobody stays here. Starting in May of this year, in 3 months from now, within a year period, I'm going to lose almost 30% of my members as they are leaving to another department in the city. The fire department is now scrambling on how to replace these people because they are going to become firefighters, earning 6 figures compared to $39,000 here. So, I've been testifying about this for years. We actually have a federal lawsuit ongoing with the city for discriminatory pay practice, and this will keep on going until they fix this problem. The gentleman from OLR who said that they charge unions 0.5 for equity pay, why are you charging the unions or its members for a raise? Where is that heard of? Anywhere else you go in the country, nobody's getting charged for a raise. Every time we ask for something, it's no. They gave the police alarm dispatchers, the police dispatchers a $10,000 bonus incentive to keep them employed. We asked for the same thing in our contract that's ongoing now. We're without a contract for 3 years, and they denied us. Every time we ask for something, OLR and OMB says no. I don't have much further to say other than it's a disgrace, and I'll take any questions you have.
Thank you so much, Oren. We've met offline before, and I will reiterate to you our commitment to getting this right when it comes to our EMS EMT workforce. I recognize the inequity and the unfairness that your workforce has had to contend for years, and I remain committed to continuing to work with you on this issue. So more to come, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come here and to speak about this discrepancy, this unfair treatment that this workforce that is so important, right? If anyone has been in an ambulance, we understand the importance of this workforce, and you all should be compensated as such. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we will turn to in-person testimony. When you hear your name, please come up to the witness panel. For the first panel, we invite Delvani Powell, Megan Chambers, Gerber Archila, and Jalen Montes. Sorry if I messed up your name. Corrected on the record. Thank you.
And Gerber Archila and Haley Montes, they require interpretation, so we may have to wait a little bit for the devices and stuff. But other than that, it
Okay.
should be.
Okay. We can begin. Just identify yourself for the record when you start to speak. And I know that we have some folks on the panel that need translation, so we will take care of that as well. Okay? You may begin.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair De La Rosa and esteemed members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today on a critical issue of workforce retention at the New York City Department of Probation. My name is Dalvin K. Powell, and I serve as the president of the United Probation Officers Association, representing nearly 700 supervising probation officers, probation officer trainees, and probation assistants. Our members are predominantly women and people of color, work tirelessly to uphold public safety while helping keeping individuals rebuild their lives. Becoming a probation officer requires a bachelor's degree and 2 years of experience or a master's degree. We are peace officers trained alongside police and correctional officers authorized to carry firearms, make arrests, and perform essential public safety duties. Yet, despite our critical role in providing an alternative to incarceration, saving the city and state millions of dollars, our compensation lags significantly behind that of NYPD, corrections, and even probation officers in surrounding counties like Suffolk County, Nassau County, and Westchester. Over the past 6 years, staffing levels at DOP have dropped significantly. In 2018, headcount was 832. Today, that number has gone down to 645. This decline has been driven by an alarming rate of attrition. In 2023 alone, 103 members resigned, 32 retired, 28 terminated. In 2024, these numbers included 78 resignations and 25 retirements, and they continue to go down. With fewer officers on the job, caseloads have soared, pushing the remaining workforce to the brink. Retention challenges extend beyond low wages. The current department administration has implemented policies and practices that have exacerbated the crisis. The removal of caseloads from probation officer trainees, despite severe staffing shortages, is one such misstep. Additionally, the department is planning to disband court liaison officers units and replace them with higher paid attorneys, disregarding UPOA's warnings about violation of bargaining rights. Family court staffing has been cut by 40% or more at a time when juvenile cases have risen under the Raise the Age initiative, further straining resources. Meanwhile, hiring efforts have stalled. 3 academy classes and crucial exam canceled, resulting in only 57 new retirees during a time of critical need. Unrealistic demands on staff have also intensified, including extensive documentation, time tracking requirements, coupled with discouragement of necessary adjournment despite overwhelming caseloads. These policies not only hinder productivity but also contribute to low morale. Furthermore, punitive disciplinary measures have replaced progressive discipline, creating an environment of fear and intimidation. Direct interference with UPOA members by management following the union's raised concerns has further eroded trust between staff and leadership. We strongly support Intro 671, which will waive the civil service exam fee for first-time applicants and high school students, if you allow me one more, removing financial barriers to entry to a positive step toward addressing recruitment challenges across civil service agencies, including the DOP. However, this is just one piece of the puzzle. Retention requires work environment founded on respect, dignity, and professionalism. To stabilize the DOP, leadership must collaborate with unions to address staffing, workload issues, develop realistic plans for hiring and training, and create pathways for career growth while prioritizing institutional knowledge. Policies that support rather than undermine the workforce are essential for building a substantial agency. DOP is a breaking point, and immediate action is at its breaking point, and its immediate action is necessary to prevent further deterioration to ensure the department can continue in its critical mission. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to answer any questions.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you some questions, but let's hear from the rest of the panel, and then I'll come back. You may start.
Okay, good afternoon. We're very glad to be here. My name is Megan Chambers, and I am co-manager of the Labor Union, the Laundry Distribution and Food Service Joint Board, Workers United, SEIU. Our union represents 7,500 frontline service workers in and around New York City, including more than 3,000 industrial laundry workers. On behalf of our union, I'm speaking to express our strong support for Resolution number 598. Thank you to Chair De La Rosa for introducing this very important resolution, and thank you for the entire committee for listening to us today about this urgent and important issue. Union co-manager Alberto Arroyo is also here today to express support, along with quite a few of our members, as many as we could fit in the back row. I'm not going to go through over every word of our testimony. We have submitted written testimony, but just in brief, industrial laundry companies use factory-type equipment to launder thousands of pounds per hour of sheets, towels, tablecloths, and other washables used by New York City businesses and institutions. Our union and its members who work in industrial laundries have fought really hard for decades to establish fair standards for workers in this sector, and we are really proud to say that almost all industrial laundry companies that service businesses in New York City abide by those standards. One of the big users of industrial laundry products in the city is the healthcare sector, hospitals, nursing homes. And there is one company that is an outlier that refuses to comply with area standards, and it is critical that this company and anybody who wants to follow in their footsteps be reined in. And that's what this resolution does. So the company I'm talking about is a company called FDR Services Corp. There are shockingly bad working conditions there. This company is a serial lawbreaker that over the past 7+ years has flagrantly violated workers' rights and area standards for industrial laundry workers. The resolution works to put an end to those kinds of abuses by calling on New York City hospitals and nursing homes to make sure that they are using contractors that respect workers' rights, follow the law, and adhere to area standards. FDR Services employs around 175 workers, mostly immigrants and women, and they are members of our union. But they do not enjoy the standards that the rest of the membership enjoy because FDR Services, for more than 7 years, has refused to sign a successor union contract, so they don't have a signed contract, and has denied them their quality union health insurance. So there's a list attached to our testimony of the many legal violations at FDR Services. The workers deserve better, and our New York City hospitals and nursing homes deserve to be using quality providers, trustworthy providers. So this resolution protects everyone, and we hope it will get your unqualified support of this committee.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I speak Spanish.
You don't have to apologize. Puede hablar en español y
Yeah.
el traductor
I need
puede traducir, ¿ok?
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Mi nombre es Herbert Archila. Yo soy miembro de la Unión de Workers United y también trabajo en una lavandería en Nueva York.
Okay, déjame ver. Good afternoon. My name is Gerber. Sorry. Okay. Está prendido. Good afternoon. My name is Gerber Archila. I'm member of the Union of Workers United, and also I'm working in a laundromat here in New York City. Continúa, segundo párrafo.
Gracias por la oportunidad de participar en esta vista pública. Estoy aquí para apoyar a nuestras hermanas y hermanos que trabajan en FDR Service, hablando a favor de esta resolución que es muy importante.
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity to let me participate in this public hearing. I'm here to support my brothers and sisters who are working for FDR Services. We are speaking on behalf of this important resolution for all of us.
Es increíble escuchar que esta compañía, FDR, pueda ser tan irresponsable con sus empleados y cómo permitimos que esta compañía siga con estos atropellos.
Okay. It's incredible to hear that this company, FDR, is being so irresponsible with his own employees. And not only this, we should not let this company to doing bad things to our employees here in the company.
No solamente es un abuso a los trabajadores, sino una falta de respeto a nuestras comunidades, incluyendo a los hospitales y asilos de ancianos que tienen contratos con FDR.
Okay. This is not only an abuse to his own workers, but it's also a lack of respect to his own employees and also to the people who are senior citizens. Okay, I'm sorry. Including the hospitals and also senior citizen centers who have contracts with this company FDR.
Los trabajadores de FDR trabajan en una compañía igual que yo. Ellos deben tener como mínimo los mismos servicios y el mismo buen seguro médico que nosotros tenemos. Los miles de trabajadores de lavanderías en nuestra unión que están en esta área.
Okay, gracias. The workers of FDR who are working in the same laundromats and working, right, should have the same rights that we have, yeah? They should have at least a minimum amount of benefits, and also they should be able to carry a good health insurance that we will be able to use. Thousands of workers that are working in these laundry places and laundromats in the area, and they're also covered by the union.
Es hora de demostrar a FDR que este tipo de conducta es inaceptable en la ciudad de Nueva York. Gracias a la concejala Carmen de la Rosa por su apoyo y gracias a todos los miembros de este comité. Muchas gracias por esta oportunidad y ayuda.
Disculpa. It's the time to demonstrate to FDR that this behavior then is not acceptable for anyone here in the city of New York. Thanks to all of you and also to the council lady, Carmen de la Rosa, for all her support and all the members of the NYC Council Committee. Thank you so much to give me this opportunity to testify, and thank you for all your help. Thank you. Okay, sí, muchas gracias, dice ella. We go to the next one, or okay. Oh, I apologize. It's the same work in Spanish. That's right. Thank you for letting me know. Esa luz laundry. Mira, lavandería. Discúlpanos. Thank you for letting me know. It's the same work. Sí. It's the same work. Okay. ¿Vas a hablar en español?
Sí.
Luego voy a usar el micrófono en inglés. Si hay alguna diferencia en nuestro español, me avisas, ¿ok? Puedes comenzar a leer.
Sí.
Oh, 1 second. Just one thing. He's representing another employee, right? Her name is Jaylin Montes, right? Okay. She couldn't. ¿Qué le pasó a ella?
Su hija se enfermó.
Su hija? Her daughter got sick today, so she couldn't come to testify in person. Okay. So he's acting as the representative of her, okay? Okay.
No hay problema. Puede comenzar.
Mi nombre es Hailey Monte. Soy miembro de la Unión y Steward de la Unión Workers United.
Continúa.
Gracias por la oportunidad de hablar a favor de esta importante resolución.
Okay, gracias. My name is Jaylin Montes. I'm a member of the union and shop steward of the Unions of Workers United. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in the favor of this important resolution for all of us.
Okay. Trabajo en la lavandería FDR Service en Hempstead, New York.
Okay. Okay. I'm working in the industrial laundry FDR Services located in Hempstead, New York.
Nosotros lavamos para muchos hospitales y asilos de ancianos en el área de Nueva York.
Okay. We are washing clothing for many hospitals and also senior citizen centers located in the New York City area.
Esta compañía por los pasados 7 años se ha rehusado a negociar un contrato justo y hemos estado sin nuestro buen seguro médico por todos estos años.
Okay, gracias. This company in the last 7 years has refused to negotiate a fair labor contract for all of us, and we have been without a good health insurance for the last years.
Okay. Durante estos 7 años hemos sufrido muchos abusos de parte de la compañía FDR.
Okay. During the last 7 years, we have been victims or we have suffered a lot of abuse done by the company FDR to us.
Algunos ejemplos son: despidieron a compañeros de trabajo solo por ejercer sus derechos. Gracias a nuestra unión y a la Junta Nacional de Relaciones Laborales, ellos fueron regresados a su trabajo y les pagaron su salario perdido.
Okay, gracias. There are some examples of this abuse. They fired many of our workmates only for the factor they were trying to exercise their rights about this abuse. Thanks to the union and thanks to the National Labor Relations Board, right? They were able to come back to their work, and they also pay for the stolen salaries, money that was stolen from them when they were working there. So they recovered this to the National Labor Relations Board.
Okay. La compañía fue multada por OSHA por violaciones de salud y seguridad a los trabajadores.
Okay. This company was fined by OSHA because of health violations and also violations of safety to all the workers in the company.
Esta compañía se atrevió a despedir trabajadores durante la pandemia COVID-19 por no reportarse a trabajar debido a que dieron positivo al COVID. Gracias a la oficina de la fiscal general Leticia Jane, estos trabajadores pudieron regresar a su trabajo y les pagaron su salario perdido.
Gracias. This company was so cynic that they fired some of their workers, some of the employees, only for the factor that during the COVID-19 pandemic, they couldn't come to work, right? Only because they were sick with COVID-19 and they still fired them. Thanks to the labor union and thanks to the office of our Attorney General, Leticia James, these workers were allowed to come back to work, and they also recover the stolen salaries, the money they had stolen from them when they were working in these places.
Nosotros los trabajadores le entregamos a la compañía una petición firmada pidiéndole a FDR que firmara el mismo contrato con los mismos beneficios, incluyendo el buen seguro médico que otros patrones de la lavandería han firmado con la Unión. FDR no nos dio una respuesta.
Okay, gracias. We, the workers, we surrender a document petition to FDR. The only intention of this document was for them to sign the same labor contract, including the same benefits, the good health insurance that they have with the union, and that other places, people who were working in other laundries, industrial laundries, had signed, and they were able to use, right, this insurance because of this. And FDR never gave us a response about this. They never gave us any response.
Ya es hora de hacerle saber a FDR que ellos no pueden seguir haciendo lo que les da las ganas con sus empleados.
Okay. It's the moment to let FDR know that they cannot continue doing whatever they want or whatever they are pleased with their own employees. This is not fair.
Okay. En nombre de todos mis compañeros de trabajo, le quiero dar las gracias a la concejal Carmen de la Rosa y a todos los miembros del comité por su apoyo y por darnos la oportunidad de estar aquí hoy.
Okay. In the name of all my workmates that work with me, I wanted to say thank you to our councilwoman, Carmen de la Rosa, and not only to her, but also to all the members of the NYC Council Committee for all your support and to give us the opportunity to be here to testify in the day of today. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you all for being here. I do have a few questions. Tengo alguna pregunta, so si me dan un momento. Let me start my questioning with Dalvani. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Powell. As you noticed, we did ask the question to DCAS around the vacancy rates at the Department of Probation, which the information we have before us is that the vacancy rate is currently 18.5% vacancy. There's 200 job vacancies right now. The response that we got was that the Department of Probation is currently undergoing a qualification review. Has that information been given to the union in terms of qualification review?
We had we met with DCAS a couple of weeks ago, me and my attorney, regarding this bridge program they was telling us about, which I'm not too thrilled about. Okay, so that's another conversation. But they mentioned, Katrina mentioned about the requalifications. I'm still trying to figure out what is that going to look like. But what was the question again?
So my question was, has the department notified the union that that the reason why the exam was postponed is because of a requalification?
No, I found out through meeting with Mr. Molina and Katrina, but the department never mentioned it to us.
Okay.
I was kind of surprised that another exam was canceled again.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's follow up offline on the situation. That was my question because I wanted to kind of see if the communication between the department and the union was. Yeah, we'll talk offline. Okay. And then to the laundry workers, thank you for being here. Gracias por estar aquí. A los trabajadores, es importante, toma coraje, pararse y defender sus derechos cuando es una compañía grande y cuando sus salarios están en juego. So, primeramente quiero expresar mi solidaridad. I want to express my solidarity with you all. I'm looking forward to passing this resolution. Part of the work of the committee has been to call out unscrupulous employers in our city that want to play with people's lives, their livelihoods, and their wages. And, I know that all of you are hardworking. The work that you do is important. And if any of you have been in a hospital, we know that you want clean garments when you are in that state. And the fact that you are the ones that provide it means that the work that you do is important for the health and care of our city. So I want to thank you for your service and let you know that we intend to pass this resolution in the council, and we look forward to continuing to defend your rights to live and work in our city. So simplemente le quiero dar las gracias. El trabajo que ustedes hacen es muy importante porque nosotros que hemos tenido la desventaja de estar en hospitales, sabemos de que cuando tú estás en un momento vulnerable, tú quieres tener ropa limpia. No quiere que se te peguen otros virus o otras cosas que existen en los hospitales. Su trabajo es crítico para la salud de nuestras comunidades. Así que yo le doy la gracia por tener el coraje de defender sus derechos. Y quiero que sepan que como la presidenta de este comité, mi intención es que pasemos esta resolución para mandar un mensaje claro a esos empleadores sin escrúpulos que pretenden jugar con las vidas de los neoyorquinos, que no son bienvenidos en nuestra ciudad, sino van a tratar a las personas con dignidad. So, muchas gracias por estar aquí. I thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much.
Our
We
pleasure.
really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank
Muchísimas
you.
gracias.
Thank you. We have one more panelist. Up next, we'll hear from Christopher Leon Johnson.
We'll just read here, and then we can skip all that.
Okay.
Here, yeah.
Thank you.
For now, there's no extra participants on Zoom.
You may begin when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Hi, my name is Christopher Leon Johnson. Thank you, Chair, for hosting this hearing. I'm here to support the resolutions to protect the laundry workers. I believe that they need more protections from their work. I just hope that very soon that retail laundry workers get added to the union too, other than just industrial laundry workers. I want to talk about employee retention. How you could save employee retention in the city workforce is by basically removing certain provisions in city employment, such as removing when it comes to political doing politics on the job. Basically, you got to remove certain things when it comes to like moonlighting on the job. I believe that people should like do certain like to protect things going down the city. You need city workers to be with the people because remember they can vote too. And when it comes to this, the intro for DCAS, when it comes to like employee fees, like make sure people pay for dues to work. I mean to do a test like for teenagers, high schoolers, and first time applicants. That should be waived. I mean nobody should be paying fees, especially you don't have a job or if it's hard to get a job. I believe that. Instead of being first time, you should get 3 times. If you fail 3 times, then you pay. The city has enough money to waive $70 fees for the people that want to work. Basically, not only do you need to waive fees for the high schoolers and first time applicants, you need to waive fees for anybody that makes less than the 30% AMI poverty rate. People that makes less than low poverty wages, they should be able to pay any fees. But going back to this laundry worker stuff, these guys and gals need a lot of protections on the workforce, and I know this year, hopefully this union should be fighting back against retaliation on the workforce, especially right now where we have this president in the White House, Donald Trump. I know some of you guys here are immigrants, and we got to start educating these guys and gals about if they want to file complaints to the bosses, that there's protections to make sure that these guys don't get retaliated with the help of ICE and Department of Homeland Security, because these guys file complaints on these bosses. So this year, just more my education, making sure that these people, mostly migrants, don't be retaliated against by their bosses if they want to file complaints, especially in these industrial workforces, like the industrial laundry workforces, since a lot of these guys and gals speak Spanish, foreign languages. So, I mean, protect these guys and gals this year. This year is about protecting these guys and gals. We all see what's going on over this country with immigration. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you to all who came here to share your thoughts and experiences. If there is anyone in the chamber who wishes to speak but has not yet had the opportunity to do so, please raise your hand and fill out an appearance card with the sergeant at arms in the back of the room.
Sorry, we're gonna wait for Joanna to make sure that all the members in the districts and is that okay?
Okay. Seeing no hands in the room, we turn to Zoom. If you are currently on Zoom and wish to speak but have not yet had the opportunity to do so, please use the raise hand function and our staff will unmute you. Seeing no hands, I would like to note that everyone can submit written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of this hearing. To conclude, I would like to thank everyone who opened up their doors to the I would like to thank all the folks who opened doors into the municipal workforce for aspiring civil service workers. In addition, we would like to take a moment to express our thanks to all the interested advocates, workers who attended today's hearing, to share your experiences, and to the dedicated staff who organized this hearing. With that, this hearing is now concluded. Thank you so much.